Hi, welcome to week 3. I see you made it through weeks 1 and 2 and you're still with me. We're going to be starting to talk about healthy lifestyles, which is section 2 in your book. And that includes the joy of fitness, physical exercise, personal nutrition, and managing your weight. So for week 3, we'll start with chapter 6, personal nutrition, and then week 4, next week, we'll talk about or we'll discuss the joy of fitness and managing your weight. So this week, chapter 6, make sure you pay attention to the nutrients because there are several quiz questions in this area. And then look at the using the MyPyramid food guide system because you will be doing that for your journal assignment. We won't really be looking at food safety too much. You can take a look at that. It's very informative and interesting, but I try not to cover every single item because there's a lot of information. And do your, on page 201, do your self-survey. As far as the journal goes, you will be keeping a food journal for 3 days and keep track of all that you eat and drink and about what proportion it is, how much it is, so that you can go to mypyramid.gov and process this. And how do you do mypyramid.gov? There's a video on that, so we're not going to go into that in detail. There's also an excellent example of the journal entry under Journal and Assessment. There are a few more PowerPoints this week, and you'll see that in your reading. Chapter 6, and then how to read food labels. It's only about 7 slides. Portion distortion, very interesting. And then actually this is what we're going to be discovering next week. We're going to be looking at eating disorders, but to get a head start, I've put it also in this week's chapter. Okay, make sure you do look at those 6 classes of nutrients and the difference between macronutrients and micronutrients. Again, there are quite a few quiz questions on that, and that's in the PowerPoint slides. And then the second set of PowerPoint slides, as I said, is only about 7 slides, not very long. And it goes into more detail on how to read food labels, which is very important when you go to the grocery store to make sure you get the right amount of nutrients, not too much fat and sugar. What do these food labels mean? It can be tricky. And then the third set of slides is just really fun, more fun than anything. And it's about the portion distortion of sizes from maybe 20 years ago to today. For example, pizza and the sizes of French fries and hamburgers. Well, you can see today you get 590 calories, where 20 years ago you might get a hamburger that had 330 calories. What do you have to do to get rid of those extra calories? How long would you have to lift weights? 1 hour and 30 minutes. So this is what that set of slides is about. It's really fun to watch. It kind of tells you how much you have to exercise to get rid of that extra large portion that is served in the fast food chains and restaurants today. And then the last PowerPoint is on eating disorders, and it's just kind of a head start for next week, because next week we'll be looking at 2 chapters, exercise, fitness, and eating disorders. Now remember, get a head jump on that journal for this week, because it does take a bit of time to do even after the 3 days that you've written your food down. It takes a bit of time to figure out how to go through that mypyramid.gov, so don't wait till the last minute to get it done. And remember, I did give you an example of another student journal entry, so you can look at that. And there is a movie on how to use the mypyramid.gov. So good luck with everything, and talk to you again later. Bye.